how to avoid a lawsuit, get arrested, and go to jail as a paramedic. Check out this video. I got you. So imagine providing patient care and making a mistake. Imagine that your mistake will end somebody's life or make their life worse. Or imagine driving the ambulance and hitting something and causing irreversible damage. Please understand, while working on the ambulance, although you may have a uniform on, although you have a radio that makes you sound like the police officer, you're still a civilian. If you make a mistake, you're liable to be arrested for that mistake. If something were to happen on your watch, you're responsible. So I want to make this video to let you know, and it's inspired by a question or of numerous questions that a subscriber asked me. Let me show you. Can I talk about bedside manner? Keeping things light and talking to your patient to set them at ease. Have I ever had, or the way I look at it, giving a disposition for malpractice situations, and how much is personal insurance for liabilities? First and foremost, I think we could put it all in a nutshell with this. If you look at this picture, this is me at a photo shoot on the ambulance. And why do I put this here? Because you want to be so good at what you do that people could feel free to put you under the microscope and they won't find anything. You want to be so empathetic and so much of a patient advocate that you won't end up in court. You want to cover all bases. You want to be bulletproof. Do the right thing for every single patient. Come in well dressed. Come in on time. Be fit. Make sure your uniform fits you correctly. When you are doing what's best for the patient and you're being a sincere patient advocate, what ends up happening is, as you can see in these questions, the bedside manner just happens to happen. The smiling, the putting the patient at ease just happens to happen because you're just being sincere. Be yourself. Look at the person. It's a human being who has a pulse and needs oxygen just like I do. I'm here to help this person. Do what's best for the person, not just your job. Next thing, have I had to give a disposition for malpractice or for patient care? Yes, I have, and I'm going to tell you about that. But before I do, how much personal insurance did I carry? None. You got to check with your employer, find out if they'll cover you if you get sued. But very seldomly do you hear stories of a paramedic being sued for patient care. I've never heard of it after 20 years. So you have to be conscious of the questions you're asking. Like, don't attract this. Remember, you're able to attract the things that you're thinking about because we are what we think, we are what we feel, and we are what we do. So if you're thinking and feeling about malpractice insurance, any type of litigation, you may be attracting it. So I don't mean to be ignorant of the fact that it's possible for you to be served. I'm not trying to say that it's a happy-go-lucky world, but with me, I just focus on being the person that dots his I's and crosses his T's. And that goes to say as well that make sure your documentation is really, really good. That way, If you do go to court, you can use the documentation to defend yourself, or the documentation will be used against you. Also, remember, everything's recorded. Privacy doesn't exist anymore. Right now, as I make this video, the artificial intelligence in my smart home is listening to everything I say. So when you go to people's houses, understand you're being recorded, whether it's on camera, home footage, or whatever. There's plenty of times, and I've said it here before, where people are recording you and you don't even know. So instead of me cheating on my wife and trying to hide it from her, how about I just be faithful and give her my passcode to my phone? Isn't that a better way of living? Of just doing the right thing, doing the righteous thing, and you'll be covered, most likely. Unless you make a mistake like I did, where I gave somebody morphine for seizures instead of midazolam. And just to give you a little bit of backstory, I was working 2 full-time jobs in the 911 system in the Bronx, about 70 to 80 hours per week, overnight shifts, 6 days, back to back. And for some reason, I was out of the loop mentally. I was stressed out, going through a divorce, and I gave a person who was having a seizure morphine. And the boss, the supervisor, the person in charge wanted me to go to jail. Like, he literally spoke out to the state, he spoke out to the city, he spoke out to the Department of Health, and he spoke out to the hospital. Everybody and their mother found out about the mistake that I made. He tried to get me fired. He even spoke to the doctors, because during that time I was thinking about entering residency, and he was like, don't let this guy enter residency when he gets his medical license to practice medicine here in the city of New York. This is the damage he tried to do to me for making an honest mistake. Now, just so you can know, mistakes are very, very common. Mistakes is actually how people learn medicine. How do you think surgeons learn how to remove a gallbladder? It's through practice. And that practice is on your body or on the patient's bodies. So paramedics, same thing. But in this particular situation, I didn't have to go to litigation or give a disposition in the courtroom. I had to write paperwork, an incident report, and all that stuff. But I dare to say that I planted so many good seeds of karma that nothing happened. Literally, the boss, the jerk who tried to hurt me by letting all these people know the mistake I made, the honest mistake, he was like, yo, I don't know what the heck happened, but none of this effort that I made to get your license removed worked. Like, he literally told me this. You're covered by something. And I know what that covering is. It's God. Like, once you do good so much, you're most likely good. And if you're not, then there's a learning lesson and you're going to be good anyway. So, do I have to worry about malpractice insurance? Do I have to worry about bedside manner and all these things? Yes. But the worry about being sued as a healthcare provider will be decreased if you just do the right thing. If you just become a patient advocate. That's why, once again, committed responders who are patient advocates don't have to worry about this stuff as much. So I invite you guys to join the Advocacy Alliance. The link is down below. Get a free newsletter and get free resources that'll make you better at doing God's work. I hope this helps. Peace.